guys, and welcome back to another Deadman Q&A. It's not another, it's the first one. This is an entirely Deadman themed Q&A. Also, Mod Matt K should be joining us shortly. Couch is a bit awkwardly spaced there.
Budge outfit.
Anyways, we have some really interesting Deadman questions to answer for you guys. So, introducing, we have Mod Ronan, Mod Alfred, Ian,
hi,
and myself, Mod Archie. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
First one?
Yeah.
E asks, is every update to the main game also going to be added to Deadman mode?
Yes, the differences between Deadman and the main game are entirely made in content, so it will be using the same build of the game content, so anything we add to the main game will also be available for Deadman mode, same as it is for Iron Man mode. So when we get Zaya, Deadman will get Zaya.
I should probably unmute my mic now.
But were you muted?
You gathered the question from the answer there, hopefully. It was, will everything from the main game also be going into Deadman mode? Yes, okay. Next question. Kent asks, what will happen to Iron Man mode? Will there be an Iron Man mode?
We don't really think it makes sense to have an Iron Man mode. The idea that when you kill someone you get to steal all their items, but then receive a message telling you that you're Deadman and you stand alone, so you can't then actually pick up those items, doesn't sound entirely useful.
Yeah. Also, killing an Iron Man, or an ultimate Iron Man, to raid his bank of nothing wouldn't be too nice.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah, okay. Next question. Barrow's Boy asks, are there any plans to combat the inevitable grouping up of players so that those who play alone won't have a massive disadvantage?
There's nothing planned in the content for that at the moment. I guess we'll see if it's a problem or not.
I think that clans forming and getting an advantage is probably, we wouldn't necessarily want it to be the main focus of the game mode, but I don't see any reason why people that spend the time finding these teams and putting their trust in these people shouldn't be rewarded for doing so. I think it's an interesting thing, as long as there is the potential for other solo players to enjoy the game and get something out of it.
I definitely think that we shouldn't try to plan for problems that very well might not be problems. We should rather wait for them to happen if this is a problem.
Oh, clans are going to happen.
And then,
but
well, yeah, but if it becomes an actual problem,
yeah.
And then it can be, taken care of however it needs to be. Anyways, next question. Jackson asks, how will the combat mechanics work for player versus player? Will it be like in PvP worlds where there's no PJing, or will it be like in the wilderness where if player A attacks player B, player C can come in and just attack any of them if one of them isn't auto-retaliating? That make sense? Okay, I'm attacking Ronan.
Okay.
I'm attacking Ronan. I take a second, eating food, whatever, I click away. You can then rush in and attack Ronan because I'm not fighting back.
Isn't that what normally happens in a world?
Yes, is that going to be happening in Deadman mode?
Yeah, that's going to follow the same behaviour it normally does in the wilderness. Yeah, it's not got any specific Deadman mechanics.
To kind of tailgate off that, will it be multi everywhere, or will there be single areas?
It's not currently planned for it to be multi-way everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's just using the same map as Old School. Like
Yeah.
where multi is, where single is.
I have no idea where the
There's no
multi-lines
changes.
are in cities, so yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
this will be interesting. Okay, next question. Toothpaste asks, what will be done with player-owned houses?
Player-owned houses, obviously we don't want people just hiding out in them and levelling and not being at risk at all, because that's not the point of Deadman mode. So the skills you can get experience in player-owned houses will be limited. You'll be able to get construction XP, obviously, because you can't get that anywhere else. And I think it was also asked that we still allowed prayer XP, because the player-owned house altars are really the main way people level prayer at high level.
And you're still going to have to make your way out of the house to get those bones and back in. So, yeah. You just find somebody sitting outside your house altar one day, or portal rather, waiting for you as you're training prayer, so that sounds fair. Be My Waifu asks, will experience gained from quests be lost on death or kept?
Experience isn't distinguished between being quest XP or leveled XP once you've actually got it. There are only a couple of exceptions in terms of what XP you won't lose. You won't go below level 10 hit points, because that's what you start out at.
Okay.
And Herb Lore, if you've completed the Druidic Ritual quest, then you won't go below level 3, because then you wouldn't actually be able to level Herblore and you'd be stuck permanently on level 1.
That's reassuring. All right. Blame asks, now that 28 items for the bank raid is an arbitrary number, due to the automatic item transfer, can you pull the desired amount of raided bank items on death?
We can poll it. 28 items, I think, was in the original poll for Deadman mode, so we're going to be sticking with that for the time being, but we don't have an issue with changing it if that's what people want.
Okay, that's fair. Will Tutorial Island be a thing? And if so, can Skippy return?
I feel like I'm doing all the talking here. Yes, we are going to have Tutorial Island. It's going to be basically the one place in the game where you can't PK each other to give people actually a chance to get their bearings.
So you can't kill people on
Tutorial Island? You can't kill people on Tutorial Island, no. Sorry
man.
about that. I asked Matt about Skippy. His view was that it does help us with regards bots.
Right.
And so he would rather keep the tutorial in place for the time being.
Who's Skippy?
He allows you to skip Tutorial Island, so you don't have to go through however long it takes you to complete the tutorial.
Okay. I haven't been through Tutorial Island that many times. So
When did you start playing Old School? Right as it
when
came
it
out?
first came out, yeah.
Skippy should have been that.
I
No.
didn't skip it. I've always played for it, like a true
What a
RuneScape player.
Noob move. Like a true RuneScape player, I enjoy Tutorial Island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
all
piece
right.
of content.
Throw asks, where will these Deadman servers be hosted?
Probably we want to ask Matt if he was here, I guess.
Yeah. Matt should be joining us momentarily, so we'll save that one for him when he comes back. Might have to save a couple of these, but we'll make our way through them. Kano asks, will the wilderness ditch be removed? Doesn't serve much of purpose, does it?
No, I suppose not if you can kill people anywhere.
I think we have no plans to remove it. But
It's not, yeah, there's nothing currently to remove it, but yeah, it's certainly something we can look into doing.
I think it'd be a nice little thing for like a nostalgic bit of a throwback to get that old, just smooth walk into the
Yes.
wilderness.
I mean, I suspect, again, because we're sharing all the mapping with non-Deadman mode, it might still be there, visibly there, but your player automatically jumps over it or something as they walk into the wilderness.
That could be a nice way of doing it, yeah.
Okay. I think that actually might be a nice one for a straw poll. So we're going to straw poll that. Would you like to see the ditch removed to the wilderness in Deadman mode? And Ash will be with us the next Q&A. Do not worry, he's not gone anywhere. Okay. While we wait for you guys to vote on that. Riker asks, since we can only protect up to 2 combat skills, will we be forced to protect hit points, or will it be protected automatically?
It won't be protected automatically. You'll have to choose to protect hit points.
Yes, I mean, you know, I don't know what builds people are going to come up with, but I'm sure there'll be builds which involve 2 protected stats which aren't hit points to give you the maximum opportunity of one hitting someone.
There'll be some very interesting builds changing the game, and as Ian said earlier, you cannot go below 10 hit points. So
I'm probably just going to stick with range and hit points.
it's not a bad idea. How are you going to get the arrows and all that? A lot of questions.
That's not bad.
It's not a bad idea though. I'm probably going to copy
So I
that.
think the issue with you two and how you're planning is you're expecting to die. You know,
No, I'm expecting to fight back.
Yeah,
That's all.
you gotta live.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, people might make builds where they only bother leveling 5 stats, a couple of combat stats for attempting to one-hit people, and the 3 other skills that they actually want to get somewhere with on the high scores. But that's one way of minimising your loss when you actually die.
Yeah. That's
But
not a bad idea.
It'll be interesting to see how people play it.
Definitely. Oh man, it's
Okay.
gonna be so exciting on release.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. The hordes of people.
Appear to be some maybe audio issues-ish. Yeah. I say maybe an ish because I don't know if I can believe the chat anymore.
There is a slight hiss, and I think it's coming from the soundboard, so I need to change some stuff, but you guys fine.
Okay, we're working on it. Right, next question. Alex asks, how do you plan to deal with mules? This is a good one for Alfie.
Mules? As in
Like a
a lower level?
like an alt, like a second account.
Okay. Well, is that a good question for me?
That's a terrible question for
I
Andy.
just felt like throwing it at you. Maybe for Ian.
Again, it's something that there isn't anything in there. Isn't anything in at the moment. It was discussed that we might be able to put some kind of tax on trading between accounts, but obviously this brings back
The
sort of
trade limit.
memories
Yeah.
of certain other updates which happened years ago. So I certainly won't want to go down that sort of route without asking people.
After talking about it with Matt, it didn't seem like we wanted to go down the route of any like widely applying trade restrictions. I don't think that's the route to go. I don't think it would help the problem very much.
Yeah.
We are looking at the reasons why people would want to transfer stuff onto a second account, and just the most effective ways of discouraging it without necessarily making it a complete impossibility, because that's going to be something that is very, very difficult to do without any sort of just solid trade restriction, which will make it something that isn't necessarily convenient and comes with a certain level of risk in doing so. Like, I'm not going to be able to easily transfer money from one account to another.
Can we not just put like a say a week limit on really expensive items? You can't trade those items for a week because
What happens after the week?
You're able to trade those items to other accounts.
I'd be curious if it'd eventually maybe be worth making it a rule, saying that it's just discouraging the game mode.
It'd be very hard to.
It's like somebody cheating on an Iron Man. It's discouraged. That's a tough one.
There are various gaming mechanics you could maybe come up with to try to do it, such that if you trade an item off someone, you can't bank it until you've played with it safely for X amount of time, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice actually.
Yeah, it's something we can look into if it does turn out to be a major stopping point.
Yeah.
Okay. We did get the results back from that straw poll. Would you like to see the Wilderness Ditch removed in Deadman mode with a whopping 87% yes? So
That's not half bad.
hopefully that's not too difficult to change.
That should be fine.
No?
Might involve some slight tweak to the engine to get it working properly nicely, such that it doesn't interrupt your movement at all, but I'm sure it's something you can do.
Okay. Next question. Kano asks, how many Deadman worlds will there be?
That's a similar question to the where are they going to be located one, really.
One for Matt.
Yeah.
We've originally said a few and potentially expanding to 10-ish.
It will very much depend on how popular it is, because I think Deadman is going to work best on crowded worlds where there's actually people to attack.
Yeah.
If you've got a small number of people per server and you never see anyone, it's not going to be any fun.
Depending on the amount of worlds, I think each world will be completely evenly spaced out, as everybody's going to go to the world with the least amount of players, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I think we're probably going to aim to get the number as low as possible while still allowing everyone that wants to play Deadman to play Deadman. I think that'll be the goal, because like Ian said, Deadman mode isn't really going to be worth playing unless you're crammed into a world with loads of players that can kill you at any moment. I think that's the appeal.
Okay. Next question. Ancient asks, what will happen to untradables that are worn or carried on death? So, Ronan kills me, I have Void. Can I run back and pick up that Void? Or is it gone forever?
My understanding is that it's going to be like it normally is in terms of, you'll be able to run back to it, but you're only going to have a couple of minutes to do so.
Right. So if you die anywhere that's far away from your spawn, good luck.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they should lose it. I don't want to see people.
Think about it
abusing
though.
Void.
Pest control in Deadman mode is going to be difficult, especially
Yeah.
since it's dangerous on the inside.
You're gonna need a lot of people.
To get an entire Void set,
Yeah, actually,
like
you'll
that
only
is
see few
a
people.
massive achievement.
There's a lot of things like that that a lot of people won't have considered.
Yeah.
You're thinking about getting a torso, you're going to need a
decent team.
that you can
Trustworthy team.
trust.
Yeah.
And you've got
You're gonna wait till the Queen and kill you.
You've got to hope that there's no one waiting outside in that lobby area or wherever.
Oh, that'd be tragic to get the torso then die
That would be
immediately.
bad, wouldn't it? It's going to happen a lot.
Okay. Next question. 99 Skiller asks, can you explain how the insurance system will work to prevent players from raiding a certain item in your bank?
So the insurance system, it'll actually be a separate inventory, a small safe deposit box.
Okay.
You'll be able to put, I think it's 10 items in that, and they won't be included in the selection of items that are selected from when the bank gets raided.
So the PK won't even get to see them, won't even know they exist.
Effectively, yes.
Awesome. Okay. That's insuring. Can stacks be insured?
No, it's just one item in each slot.
Okay. All right. Max Main asks, will Deadman have a leaderboard?
You mean high scores?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was working on today. Was actually working with the web team to get high scores set up.
Awesome. So we'll know who's at the top of that leaderboard all day long?
That's going to be...
Watching
probably
him drop down tragically?
I think that's going to be the most exciting part about Deadman mode, is just watching the high scores constantly change, and like, you'll see that one person that will stick there for a while and then they'll be gone the next day. That'll be
one of his friends decides he doesn't want to be a friend anymore. That's that. Okay. Will there be a 10-minute safe period upon release where players cannot attack each other, or will it be all-out chaos?
As we already said, Tutorial Island, there's going to be no attacking each other on Tutorial Island, so that's going to be your safe time, I guess.
So it's going to be either like go as quickly as possible through Tutorial Island, as quickly as possible, then make a break for somewhere that you think won't be too filled with players, or wait a little bit, but I don't think that's going to work.
Or become a Tutorial Island pure and just never leave.
Really
It's not a
exciting.
bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Okay.
That's a very bad idea.
To be honest, you're not going to have much to lose when you first log in. If someone comes along and kills you,
I don't know, I feel like that bronze pickaxe is going to be valuable.
maybe.
All right. Next question. FaZe asks, how long will skulls last?
30 minutes, I believe it is.
This is going to be the longest 30 minutes of your life.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that the timer will only go down when you're logged in, though.
Yes, that's right. It only goes down when you're logged in. There's a few other restrictions to stop people hiding away. It doesn't go down if you're in an instanced area, such as your player-owned house. And if you stand still for too long, then it will also stop going down to stop people just finding, like, I think someone suggested there's the traps in the elf area which people might, for example, intentionally trigger and fall into the bottom of and try and hide in them or something.
Yeah.
So
That's really clever. Wow.
I think there's going to be a bunch of little hiding places around the map, but I mean, people are going to figure them out and just kill you.
You know, it reminds me of EPing back, right? And you'd find a guy that was EPing, and you never know, like just some random guy sitting in like the corner of nowhere, and you kill him, you get a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, woo!
The best were the people that were trying to be smart and using auto-retaliate in a javelin with a U-seed in their inventory. So they were always risking over 75k until they got attacked, and then they retaliate, drop the javelin, and then they wouldn't be risking it anymore. You just freeze them, and then free money. It was great. But then there were the people that used a little trick like Ian was talking about with the 1x1, where I think it was a boat in Ardoin where you could just go downstairs and it was a dangerous area.
In an
completely
instance,
safe.
is actually a good idea that we're taking care of that, because imagine you skull on somebody, you kill somebody, and then I don't know, Bob the cat comes and takes you to his island, and you can just sit there for half an hour and you're good to go. So that's good to hear. Also, the chat seemed a little loud when we mentioned the 30-minute skull, so that might be one to be revised, but we'll have to see when that happens. Shark asks, for the initial spawn, will we spawn in Lumbridge, or will we spawn all around the map?
Currently it's Lumbridge. I think when you die and respawn, there's going to be a variety of spawn points you can choose from, so we could make it such that when you leave Tutorial Island, you also get a choice of locations to start from.
Okay. Just thinking about if you spawned anywhere on the map, you could tell your friends, oh, I've got a really good spawn, or you could tell your friends, I just spawned in the Bando's lair.
I mean, it's probably going to be one of the common teleport locations, I would imagine.
All right. Prison asks, will the achievement diaries retain their completion upon death, and do you retain progress towards a diary?
Yes, achievement diaries, quests, that sort of thing, you'll still maintain your progress in.
They're going to be extremely useful then. Okay. That'll probably be one of the first goals, is going after some of those easy tasks. See, you get insight for watching these Q&As. Okay. Whoops asks, how will the Grand Exchange work? It won't.
It
won't.
Yeah.
For those asking if there'll be a Grand Exchange, there you go. Would we consider adding one in the future?
I'd like to see it the most.
I think it'd be.
You're just going to get people who are just going to gain their levels by bank standing and
true.
not really risking anything.
You'd have to worry about people hiding their value in a GE offer as
Yes,
well.
it would also effectively give you 6 safe slots you could store stuff in and not get it nabbed.
Is the 5 times experience rate, is that only in dangerous areas or is that everywhere?
That's everywhere. We've gone to some effort to remove or reduce the impact of levelling in various safe areas.
Yeah.
Again, to encourage people to actually get out of the cities.
Yeah.
Okay. Thinking back to when I first started playing Old School and there was no GE, like I made along just fine. Mind you,
Yeah,
I wasn't being hunted by everybody
but
around me.
If you want to buy
But-
something expensive, someone's just going to say, yeah, come meet me here, and then you're dead. I don't know.
Yeah, you agreed to trade with someone.
That's
For
true.
some expensive
I'd trade them in a
items.
safe zone then.
No, you could just do that. Actually.
I'd stand next to all the guards. Be like, bring it.
Yeah.
All right. Watch Closely has a good few questions here. He asks, how will in-combat teleport delays work?
So it pops up a little countdown at the bottom of the screen, either for logging out or teleporting. Tells you how long you've got left, and when that expires, you will then automatically teleport or log out. If you get attacked in the meantime, then it breaks the countdown. And
Breaks the countdown.
Yeah, and you have to start again.
Oh, man. If it didn't break the countdown, you could sit there and let the guy try to kill you, but you'd maybe log out before he killed you. But if he breaks it with every single hit,
Yeah.
you're pretty much forced to run or fight back.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. Will guards patrol rooftop agility areas? A tough one.
When I had to go on Deadman mode, I could not get the guards on. Like, there was no way to escape them. Up ladders, up anywhere. Like, if you have a skull in a safe area, you get attacked. With that said, don't believe the rooftop agility areas were safe.
No.
So I think you'll be all right up there. But it's a matter of how long you want to stay up there in the dangerous area.
It's a quick
And,
escape, though, typically. You
Yes,
just run.
Yes, it's going to be hard to PK someone on a rooftop agility
Once you can freeze
course,
them.
even if it's not safe up there. You'll be able to jump to the next obstacle pretty quick.
Okay. Next question. Another one of these player. All right, so let's say player A is Ronan, kills player B, that's you, Alfie. Rip. But then player C, that's me, comes along and kills player A before he can loot player B's bank. What happens?
So as has been, I think, mentioned in one of the dev blogs, it's no longer working exactly that you get your pick of any item from another player's bank account. The 28 most valuable items are selected for you from their bank account.
Okay.
The way we're looking at doing that now is they will be put in a chest which is set aside for you, and you'll be given a key, and you'll be able to go to the bank and open that chest and get those 28 items. If in the meantime someone else kills you, they will get to take the key you've got for the 28 items you got from player A, B, I can't remember, I lost count. And they will get a second key for the person they just killed.
So you can collect
So
multiple keys.
you will end up with multiple keys for multiple chests. And I think because we want it to persist to get across like logouts and server reboots and things like that, we are going to have a limit on the number of keys you can carry, because that's what got to be saved somewhere. So I think we're going to limit that to 5 keys, which you
If
won't
you
be
can
able
kill
to bank
5
all
people
day.
without banking, yeah, you're doing all right.
And the other suggestion we just came up with today actually was adjusting the PK skull to actually show how many keys you're carrying.
So like bounty hunter craters, depending on your value brought in, it would change colors.
Yeah, or just literally
Have a
show a
number
number
next to it.
or
Okay.
show the number of keys above your head. So someone who's got 5 keys then becomes a big target.
Ooh.
That would be
Okay.
interesting.
So to recap that, anybody who didn't follow that weird player thing, Ronan kills Alfie, I kill Ronan, I get Ronan and Alfie's keys, provided you picked up Alfie's. I can carry up to 5 at a time. Yep. All right. If you kill somebody and have a sudden change of heart and decide not to raid their bank, are you forced to take 28 items from their... You could probably just drop the key, I guess?
Well, by then it's been moved out of their bank into this set aside for you. The issue we've got is that once a player logs out, we no longer have access to their bank account, so we have to move it out of their bank account immediately.
Right.
Because otherwise they could log out,
If they rage quit.
log in on a different server, and take the stuff out of their bank account, or it gets complicated. So that's why we're taking it out immediately and setting it aside for you.
So there's no going back and you were to fight. If somebody kills somebody, that's it. You've just taken their top 28 items. There's no...
Yes, if
Yeah.
you want to give them their 28 items back, then you're going to have to get them from the bank and give them back to
Yeah.
them.
Okay. Next question. Will a player who was just killed receive a message telling them what items were taken from their bank? Or will you have to kind of skim through your bank and guess, oh, looks like they took my rune simi?
The existing items kept on Death Interface has been repurposed, so that's now an items lost on Death Interface.
Okay.
So when you click on that, it will show you the 28 items you will lose from your bank account. There's no reason we couldn't pop that same interface up when you die to actually show you what you've lost.
That's handy.
That'd be nice, definitely.
Will the protect item have any purpose?
I'm not currently aware of any plan for it. I suppose it could protect a single item you're carrying.
It makes sense.
Even if Skull-
Makes sense with its existing behaviour.
Yeah, I
I
think
hope it's useful, yeah.
either that
Yeah.
or we just have to disable it so people don't expect it to protect an item and then
Yeah.
end up very disappointed.
Mm.
I would have assumed, just randomly, I would have assumed that it would protect one item. But yeah. Okay. Till asks, in Darkscape, High Alching was removed. Will you be doing the same?
Don't think we have any intention of removing high out, do we?
Not heard of any plans. I didn't know it was the case in Darkscape.
I think this is a recent change.
I mean, I have no idea why they did that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know why.
Bringing gold into the game
I mean,
rather easily. Mind you, how are you going to get the nats? There's a few ways to get nats, yeah. The magic level isn't too terribly high.
I don't think it's too much of an issue.
That's a controversial one. Okay. Next question. Tom asks, how will minigames work in Deadman mode? Well, we've already talked about pest control. Castle Wars.
They're just going to work the same way. You just need to find trustworthy people to play with, I guess.
Are they going to be safe though? Castle Wars, for example.
Yes.
TBD. Matt has the
Yeah.
answers.
Yeah.
No idea where Matt is.
Don't know where Matt is today, no.
Oh, we're going to switch mics.
Yeah, okay.
That's you.
There you go.
All right. Right. Related to the minigames. It was said that pest control would be dangerous, but the Void Knight outpost would be safe. Would this mean if you sculled inside of the pest control arena and then you're instantly teleported back out, would the guards kill you instantly?
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah.
If you,
If you misclick in pest control, you're done.
If you're skulled and you enter a safe zone, you're going to get killed by the guards. I think that's a universal thing in Deadman mode. There's not going to be any exceptions to that. So even if you're in an unfortunate place and you get moved back into a safe zone by whatever
Yep.
piece of content you're doing, you're still going to die.
Okay. Still related? Will pest control points give 5 times XP or just 1?
I think just one. I think it's just experience that we're buffing this up.
Yeah, I would have to check what method it goes for internally. We've got 2 methods, one for normal XP and one which is called XP reward, which is typically used for things like quests. I would have to check which of the 2 it runs through.
Yeah, okay.
OSRS Deadman asks, will the spear special attack be disabled in Deadman? He says this could be easily abused by teams. My initial response to that is, how rare is a Dragon Spear drop?
It's going to take a long time to be able to get your hands on
Yeah.
them. Like, if you wanted even 5 of them, they're probably going to be one of the
You're
most
not going to run
valuable
into a
weapons in
team
the
with
game.
Dragon Spears. It's
I
not
mean-
going to happen.
Just the ability to push someone into a safe zone, into guards, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh God, imagine that. No way.
I say you're not going to run into a team of spears. You won't run into a team of spears within the first week. And then some, hopefully.
Mm.
But they are really, really rare.
Zami
Also, if that's an issue,
yeah.
don't stand near a safe zone.
I feel like the word would get out. Like, I'd have friends telling me, be like, be really careful, there's a team running around, don't go here. You would kind of hope you have those reliable friends. All right. Mirror asks, are you allowed to change your protected skills on the fly, or will you need to commit to a 5 certain skills on creation?
This is again in the items lost on death interface. It shows you all 28 of your, not 28 skills, that's inventory slots. It shows you all of your skills and what level they would drop to if you were to die, and you will be able to toggle on that interface which ones you want to protect.
Okay, awesome. He has a few more questions here. He says, at RuneFest you mentioned escaping or logging out will take time. Can you explain? So you've already said?
Yeah, this is the one we discussed earlier with the countdown, which appears, which is broken by you either moving or someone attacking you.
Which, can we say how much time that is?
It's 10 seconds currently.
Okay. So 10 seconds. If you see a white dot on the mini-map, you need to wait 10 seconds before you can log out or teleport. If you're hit in the meantime, it just restarts. So yeah, get running or fight back. Okay. For single areas, assuming that everywhere isn't multi, can we do anything to stop splashing on friends?
That's a good question. That would probably be...
Kind of ties into the mule-ish.
How are you going to... yeah, I suppose it could keep you out of combat for long enough to lose your skull. That's an
Mind you,
interesting
you'd have
point
to attack somebody to do it.
But if you stay in combat for 30 minutes or more, then you're not going to be skulled by the end of it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's...
It's true. It would be a way of losing your skull. Oh no, well, you'd have to be actively interacting with it, because if you're not actually walking around, if you're standing still and just splashing on the spot, then your skull isn't going to count down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it's going to make it a bit harder.
So you wouldn't be able to
walking
just...
around splashing.
You'd have to be walking around splashing. It's going to be quite convoluted.
Yeah, that'll be odd.
If
Again,
If it's something that becomes an issue, a clear issue, then we can definitely address it. I don't think it'd be something that'd be too challenging to sort out.
okay. We've still got a few questions left, but we're going to head to some in the chat momentarily. So if you have any good questions, Deadman related, please do ask them.
Someone did mention having a 5-second countdown for teleporting out of the...
So we're
Yes, I mean,
reverting it from 10 to 5.
Yeah, it's 10 currently, if that turns out to be too long.
Right, okay. I didn't know
yeah.
there was a limit on teleporting.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, this is all very much a case of, we don't know how people are going to play it. We don't know how it's going to work out. It'll be interesting to find out, and we will take on lots of feedback and be probably putting out a lot of polls about the direction it should take in the future.
Yeah, I think that it's such a every part of the game is going to be ever so slightly different. I mean, it's a huge amount of content to take into account before we see how people are even going to play it. So we're going to have to do a lot of it post-release. If there are feedback points, we'll take them into account, fix it up, get polls out where necessary, and make it as balanced as possible.
All right. Instances, will timers carry on in instances? We've already said no. You can't just hide in an instance. Bounty hunter rewards. Will mysterious emblems be a thing? Can you get the rune pouch? Anything else in there?
I don't believe we have any plans for them. Bounty hunter world on
You can
Deadman.
still get them as a chance from some of the wilderness bosses.
You have to be on a bounty hunter world though.
Do you? Okay.
I think you
Fair
do. I could be wrong in saying that. I don't think I am.
Well, without those, the NPC existing means nothing. Same with the rewards. That means that those rewards would be locked out of Deadman mode.
Yes.
Unless we created some other way to get them.
Or if we had bounty hunter Deadman modes later on down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next
That'd actually
question.
be pretty cool, bounty hunter Deadman mode. Wow.
Well, you had that one idea for what, blood coins,
Yeah.
currency like that could be possibly used towards. Yeah. Okay. Abyss runecrafting, will this skull you? Yes.
Yes, don't see why not.
Yeah.
If you're afraid of getting skulled in the Abyss, there's that bracelet, I forget what it's called.
I mean, we you know, if for 30 minutes is too harsh for that, we can set different lengths of PK skull for gaining one from the Abyss to gaining one from attacking someone.
Yep.
I don't think it's necessarily like Chris mentioned. This what's it called? Diamond bracelet.
Yeah.
It prevents you getting skulled
Say
when
like
you go into.
Right.
3 bracelet or something.
Yeah, from the 3
weird.
bracelet. Yeah, so there is an option there. So as long as you can get yourself some from 3 bracelets, you'll be absolutely fine doing your
They'll be
Abyss.
really valuable.
Yeah, they definitely will be. There's an option there if you want to use the Abyss.
Okay. Death asks, how will Deadman related polls work? Will these polls be appearing in the regular worlds, or will there be poll booths on Deadman worlds in the safe zones where you have to go and vote?
So the current plan is to have poll booths in the Deadman worlds and in the main worlds, and they'll just link through to the same poll module.
Okay.
So if you have the requisite stats to vote in either game, then you will be able to vote in the poll. If we decide we want to have Deadman specific polls, which only high level Deadman players can vote in, then we can look at that down the line. But I think initially, you probably aren't going to have that many people voting purely off their Deadman stats.
I think the only concern there would be that people would want to limit the amount of people that can vote in Deadman polls to only being Deadman, rather.
Yes, I can understand that.
But, you know, we let everybody vote in the Iron Man polls, so that's the way it is. Elfie asks, how will safe zone training be handled? For example, thieving heroes in Ardoin. Ardy.
How will it be handled?
Yeah, so you'll be able to skill without worrying about being killed because you'll be safe no matter what. So
Yeah.
safe XP. So obviously a few there. Thieving is really the only one that comes to mind. Obviously, you can fletch in banks and stuff.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to get a skull for training
Yeah.
a skill.
There's going to be a bunch of different ways that you can skill in the safe areas. I mean, if that is something that is a problem and people don't like it and they feel it takes away from Deadman, we can certainly poll changing that and saying, oh, we can potentially look at reducing the experience gained in those safe areas or something like that. To start with, those things are just going to it's part of Deadman mode.
Yep.
If it becomes an issue, we can address it. If not, then no worries.
There's only so much content in the safe zones as well, because they're mostly like, you know, you have your general stores, banks, etc. It's not typically like your really motherlode mine or anything like that.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to play Deadman mode and get the most out of it without going into the dangerous areas. I think that is, without a doubt, the goal is you're going to want to leave the safe zone on a regular basis, whether or not you want to die.
Yeah. Okay. Iron No Bank asks, what time of the day will Deadman mode go live? Wants to be one of the first people online. We can understand that.
Generally, we don't have a set time of day where the update goes live. It's just a matter of when the content is ready, when the news post is ready, and when all the people necessary are in place to get the update going live. It will go live.
Can we say we typically aim for around
Midday, I think.
11 a.m.
As early as we can on a Thursday, typically.
Yeah, that is pretty much it.
I'd say like 10 to 12 p.m., 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. BST, give or take.
That's typically when we get them out, but
Yeah, usually about that.
we will be dealing with several other web modules, for example, high scores. There's also modules online for changing your display name or for voting in polls, which are also going to tie into the new mode. So there may be potentially more hold-ups than normal.
Yep. This isn't exactly a small update.
No.
So
Not at all, yeah.
something might change. Also, for those asking, the release date will be the 29th of October. So there you go. All right. Mr. Wi-Fi asks, will guards be remodeled for Deadman mode? One for Alfie?
Possibly in the future, not right now. Just haven't had enough time to do it.
Would you make them scarier looking, I guess? Not sure what you would really do.
And currently you get attacked by guards relevant to the area you're in. So if you're, I think, for example, the Gnome Stronghold is a safe area. So if you
It's like the gnome guards.
Getting mobbed by gnomes.
you get mobbed by gnomes.
That's brilliant.
I don't think they should be changed then in that case.
Yeah,
I think that
if
makes
it's like
sense.
that, then
That's
it
pretty
shouldn't
cool,
be
yeah.
changed.
Yeah. Okay. Jarson asks, will you reconsider such harsh penalties after death? So this is a wide concern for some players that are simply scared that they're going to lose all their stuff.
I think it's past the poll with what we're going with. People were happy to see it pass like that. I think for the initial release of Deadman mode, we're going to stick with what we've got. We spoke about the insurance as well, so there is a minor tweak there. But I think the concept of losing your top 20 items on death and 7 levels in every stat, or 50% of your experience, is going to be how it is on release. If that isn't working out, we can again look at changing it based on feedback. But to start things off, it's definitely going to be how it is polled and how it's been developed so far.
As you said earlier, this hasn't been something that's been done before. We've never done anything like this. And if anything does desperately need to be changed, it's not impossible. Yeah,
we're very much relying on seeing how it goes and using that to kind of judge how things go in the future and where we take Deadman mode.
All right. Cleaner asks, Mysterious Emblems, we've already touched on that. Next question. Will we receive alerts if a high-ranking player has just died? Can you get a Twitter account set up or something?
It'd be cool.
Yes, I think that was on the request list actually, was, have a Twitter account which was, or put it out on the old school Twitter if someone with significant XP and or money loses it all.
That's a definite possibility. I mean, we've already got something that can send tweets through the old school Twitter from the game, so I mean, it's just a matter of putting in the checks for whoever's in the content, I imagine. Then.
I'd like to put the whereabouts as well.
The whereabouts?
Yeah, so somebody just died.
Very specific. This
lost,
exact
like, a lot
square.
of stuff. Yeah, he's in Varrock Center, go get him. Well, the guards would be wrecking him.
Yeah.
One thing that someone mentioned the possibility of global broadcasts when you get loot. I thought that was a pretty cool idea.
I don't know.
I feel like it's a bit spammy.
I feel like it's going to be hard. That's true. It's
just the
spammy.
big loots, like you're talking your hilts, your tassets. Someone gets a set of Bandos tassets, and
I feel like it's going to be harsh enough as it is. And imagine that feeling of killing somebody and looting that crazy good rewards, and then seeing that message saying you were the one that did it.
Imagine the feeling of panic that would go through. Oh, it'd be amazing.
Terrible.
It'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Bjorn asks, will content that requires defense to unlock be lost after death? So what he's referring to here is vengeance, piety, etc. And then you lose your defense, you're back down to 1 defense. Obviously, you don't have the requirements for that. Do you keep them?
I think if it's the requirement to unlock it, then you'd keep it. But if it's a requirement to use it, then you wouldn't be able to use it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So if you had to have a certain defense level to complete a quest, for whatever reason, and then you go complete that quest and you unlock a spell that has no requirements or 94 mage requirement, you'll still be able to use that spell even if you don't have that initial defense requirement. But if whatever you're doing in particular requires the defense, then you won't be able to do it.
Yep. Okay. Here's another question here. When you die and lose all your construction XP, for example, do you keep all of the items that you've built in your house?
No reason why you wouldn't.
Yeah, I think the same applies. You would keep them, and you would be able to use them, actually. So, yeah. Well, I mean, we're not going to lock it off until they get that.
Yeah, because if you get invited into someone else's house and you can use the stuff in their house without actually having the construction level yourself, can't you? So
construction will be very valuable, I think.
It'd be very, very difficult to
and
train
dangerous.
as well.
Well, apart from the fact we've already said that most skills you can't level in your player-owned house.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Tom Wilson asks, can Deadman worlds have scarier environments? He's saying, for example, blood splats, skeletons.
Certainly doable.
Alfie?
Yeah, we can do that because we haven't really done much on Deadman mode. I mean, it would be nice to kind of.
It's not going to look any different.
Yeah, I mean.
It's not going to look massively different because again, it's using the same mapping as the existing game. Now we do have the ability to make some changes to the appearance on the fly, but it's not going to be a completely different map version of Varrock where all the buildings are falling down, for example. It's just going to be small touches here and there.
I think that'd be nice.
Mm.
It's not like we have a sky, so we can't really make it darker. Yeah, it might be a nice touch. Aurella asks, will Deadman mode have updates that compete with old school updates for dev time?
It's mostly going to be game rules as opposed to entire extra bits of content, because again, it will get all the content updates that the main game does.
Yeah.
I mean, if we look at a piece of content like a boss for the main game, we're not going to be releasing anything of the sort for Deadman. It's more going to be, like Ian says, tweaks to just the overall.
Yeah. Especially
rules
that
of
first
Deadman.
week, I see probably maybe a couple, unless things go flawlessly. I imagine something small might come up. You know, things might need to be changed on the fly.
Yeah. It'll also be something we can take into account when we create new updates, is how will Deadman players interact with this.
Yeah, but I think it's worth making clear as well, we're going to be designing content
Yes.
for the main game.
Yes,
With Deadman
it's
in
not
mind,
going
but-
to change the entire direction of the content, but there will be the consideration of, do we make a slight change to it for the Deadman worlds?
Yeah.
Just small things which aren't going to take large amounts of development time.
We're now going to head to the chat for a few questions here to finish off the Q&A. So we've got one up here from Azirier asks, will we be able to play on the same account on Old School and Deadman at the same time?
No, I don't believe so. I believe because they go through the same login server.
Wouldn't sound possible to me, just as you can't play Old School with the same account as you can on RS3.
Yes, it works using the same system. It's all through one login server, and it just loads a different save game. It wouldn't work because you can talk across games on the friend chat, for example, and that's not going to work if you're in more than one game at once.
Try to have a conversation with yourself. Yeah, wouldn't work. Okay, that answers the next question as well. Will you have to make a new account? You don't have to. You can use your existing account, but if you want to play Old School, normal game, whatever we're going to call it, just Old School, and Deadman at the same time, yes, you're going to need a new account.
Yes, it's an additional save game in the same way that if you play RS3 and Old School, then you have different save games for the two of them, but you only have one username. You only have to pay for membership once for both of those games.
Okay, that answers the membership follow-up. Okay, Ice the Dead. Do you keep all your bank items if a guard kills you? So that's something we didn't actually talk about. What happens if you die to an NPC instead of a player? The NPC's not going to raid your bank, I hope.
I think the 28 items still get taken out of your bank, but they get dropped on the ground where you die, because the idea is we don't want someone who's about to die to a PKer or who skulled themselves to then run to a safe zone and kill themselves on an NPC just to stop their PKer from getting the loot. That would seem
a bit cheap, really, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think it should just show up on the floor, and then whoever's closest might be lucky, unless you can run back in time. Just as the way it works now. Okay. Next question's from Gus Devil. What will happen with random events? Will they still exist? Yes, but instances won't affect you with your skull loss.
Yeah, if you're in an instance, you don't lose your skull, you don't gain XP, so.
There's really no point to being in one. Ikey Face. Teleporting will only the restrictions be the current in-game? Will the only restrictions be the ones currently in-game? Okay. So teleblock, thinking wilderness level. That's not a bad question. So Mod Matt K is going to join us, I think, for this last 10 minutes or so.
Mod Matt, man with all the answers.
Mod Matt data. So teleblocked, being past 30 wilderness, is it? No, that's the glory. It's 20.
20, yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to have certain areas where you can't teleport out of.
No, I mean, it's the same restrictions as it is currently in the main game, with the additional 10-second restriction to teleporting.
I don't know what I'm saying, teleblock. You know what I mean? Right, so.
Sorry. Not my fault.
I'll move up.
This meeting went on. I was supposed to finish at 5.
We had 2 questions we're going to hope for an answer from you
Okay.
from. Okay. Ready for the first one?
Right.
Deadman Worlds,
Yeah.
sorry, servers.
Yeah.
Can we say where they'll be hosted?
Don't know yet. Probably our strongest data center. I said the word data. Lol. Okay, so I would imagine we'll probably aim to do one UK, one US. Seems to make logical sense for the first few. The way, I don't know if you mentioned it, but the way we're going to sort of do it was just as Darkscape did. We'll start off with a couple and then we'll just feed more in. But I think one UK, one US seems logical. There won't be one in Australia, I'm afraid. But yeah, one UK, one US. So London, probably Miami, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, it's expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the worlds, starting off with 2 or 3.
Yeah, and then growing as
Okay.
we need to keep the, just as Darkscape did, keep the population high.
Okay.
Sweet.
I think that was there anything else? I feel like there was one other.
There was definitely another question. I can't for the life of me remember what it
skim
was.
through all of these right now. So we do have some more from the chat here to finish off. Right. Sasuke asks, can we remove white dots?
No. Yeah,
That's
so
a
you get the whole
big
point is
change.
seeing the white dot, isn't it, and getting
Yeah.
panicking. I mean, the whole concept behind it is giving you that feeling right here when you're paranoid and you think someone's going to kill you the entire time.
There is a technical issue behind it as well, in that the other players are transmitted to your client. So even if we hid the white dot,
Yeah,
there will be some hacked client somewhere which puts them back again
absolutely.
and gives people an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we don't want that.
And as we said earlier, there's a 10-minute timer to log out or teleport away. So even when you see that white dot, or if you are the white dot, they have a long time before. In fact, I'm filming something for a trailer. So I'm in the Al-Kharid, I want to say, the little mining area there. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
No, it's the next to the duel arena. You know what I mean?
Scorpion
Yeah.
pit.
The scorpion pit there. And I'm right at the end mining, and then I see a white dot, and there's nowhere you can go, and it takes less than 10 seconds to get there. So in that instance, you're only left with the option to fight, or run and die.
Yeah.
But likely fight. So yeah.
Or ignore each other, which is probably what will happen.
Did I say 10 minutes instead of 10 seconds?
Yeah.
You did.
that would
I'm
be
glad we
painful.
That would be a bit harsh, yeah. But I mean, I think what a lot of people expect is there to be carnage everywhere, which you might get on day one as people try it out there. But I think after time, it will get to a stage where people will just not want to fight. So we're creating an environment where you can go and kill somebody and get all the benefits of killing somebody. But then there's such a harsh thing to actually get a skull that you don't want to do it. So you've got the ability, but you have to temper yourself not to do it.
I see some really epic battles between guards and clans going on.
I don't.
Yeah, nor do I.
They had 2 guards versus 100 people.
But see, the way it
Surely they
works
must get
is
a
as soon as you skull into an area, if you're not attacked in 6 seconds, a guard will spawn and attack you.
Okay.
So it was designed purely so that you couldn't get 100 people just take out an entire town.
Right.
So that is a proper protected area.
That's good. That's reassuring.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll bake stand in peace.
Yes. You can do that.
Well, again, there will be people who make builds which only level 5 stats, and so they won't care if they get killed by a guard or not, and they will just spend their time going into safe zones and attempting to one-hit people before the guards kill them.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think everything will be done, and then after, give or take a month or 2, people will discover the best builds and the best, the best ways to run things, just as they did with Iron Man mode. Moultrie asks, what about the quest A Soul's Bane? Will you be able to camp camp inside the rift with angry weapons and one-hit people as they come in?
That's interesting, isn't it? That's interesting.
Don't you get moved on from the area with the... Wait, isn't...
I don't recall.
I don't remember how that quest worked. I thought that once you hit really hard with those weapons, you got moved on. I thought you could... Will you be able to use them on people?
I don't know. Just wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to try that on a PvP world now.
That's kind of the answer for some of these.
Yeah.
is
Let's wait and
wait
see. See what
Yeah.
happens with that.
All right.
That was my super secret training spot. That was going There's all the monsters.
And now you
in
just
there.
told everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. That's fantastic.
Everyone's going to be thinking it now anyway.
Old School RS vids. Will we be able to use agility obstacles while in combat? Can't imagine why not.
Yeah.
You can
You
for
if you can normally, then
Well,
can right now.
this comes back to the rooftop agility again,
Mm.
in that, yes, they're not safe zones, but it's going to be hard to PK someone up there if they can immediately just jump off to the next roof.
yes.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
So there is potential to make it harder to run away in those situations, but
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you drop down to ground level, I was trying to remember what we did. We're going to have that as not safe zones
yes,
for rooftop agility.
yes,
is that right? Yeah.
the rooftop agility is currently listed as not safe,
Yeah.
but as soon as you get back down to the ground, you'll be safe again.
Yeah. So if you attack somebody up there, you're not getting off there very easily unless you teleport somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. The person with the PK skull
Yeah.
is going to find it hard to get out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think the only, I know there's that massive boulder that you move that's up near the wilderness, and you damage doesn't follow you through movement. That's the only one that I know of. But for example, like the Grand Exchange ditch, damage does follow you through, does it not?
Don't remember. I think we changed that boulder in the wilderness.
Yeah, it's fixed.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be a case where somebody can find, for example, like an agility, like the one next to West Valor Bank, where you can just hop over and you'll be invincible, and you can just do that for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and nobody will be able to hit
Well,
you.
if that does happen the case, we'll fix it and
Yeah.
stop that from happening. And
We'll
deal
be
with
very
things
quick to
as
find these
reviews.
things out.
How do we get on talking about mules, by the way?
Yes. Do you have another answer?
No, I don't know what answer you gave, so I'm assuming it's the one that.
I think it was pretty much just we'll deal with it as it happens.
Yeah. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
couple of
very
things
much
we've
else.
got in place. We've got one mechanic, which we're not going to tell you about, which may cause you to get a message pop up saying something like you can't trade with this person. There is another thing which I actually wanted to ask the community, see what they thought about it, was we have the ability to, once you've been traded an item, to stop that item being traded away for a certain amount of time as well. So that is quite a harsh mechanic, so I wanted to know how these guys felt about it. And the other thing as well is Modweath has the ability to track all the accounts, how much wealth's on them, what they've been doing, and apply auto bans. So we have the option of just banning mules as we find them, which would be quite entertaining, quite frankly. So mules will not exist, but we'll have to wait till a few start appearing so we can see what they look like and then deal with them that way.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a problem with them at all.
Okay. Summon asks, will you be able to change your selected protected skills? We've already said yes, you will be able to change those on the fly. Landon, any chance that there will be wilderness expansion to make the wilderness bigger?
In some sense, effectively, the whole world is building.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. Yeah,
We're not throwing more resources into it, so.
yeah, no, I don't think we're not going to be changing the wilderness, the shape of it, or anything like that anytime soon. The next few years, so probably not.
Ivera, can you enter someone's house if they have private chat off?
No, you can't, can you? It's however it works at the moment, isn't it? So if you can do it now, then yes, you'll be able to, but at the moment you can't, so I'd assume you can't.
Does it count as an instance when you're in your house?
Yes.
Yes.
So your skull
Yeah.
won't go away, so you
Yeah.
don't have any benefit to just sitting in there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You could
You're-
try to wait out a team maybe if they're outside.
Yes, but yeah, log out and you can come back a few hours later and hope they're not still waiting
Yeah.
for you. So you can hide in your house. Skull won't go down. You only get construction XP in your house, don't you? And prayer XP. I think we were talking about earlier as well, from the things, the altars. But otherwise, there's no point going into your house at all. Make some tea, I suppose.
How will the Ring of Life work? Will that teleport you instantly, or will you have to wait 10 seconds?
Ooh, now that's interesting. It teleports you instantly, and you got a skull. Ooh.
Yeah. And you spawn in and you teleport right
Just
into the
die straight
guards.
Yeah.
Ring of Life. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think about that one, I think.
I was thinking the diamonds would go to those friends through the bracelets, whatever they are.
Meh.
We might just disable Ring of Wealth. I think it might be easier.
Ring of Life.
Ring of Life, yeah. Ring of
We
Wealth,
just
so we wouldn't
have
know
to-
if you disabled them.
You just have to be really careful if you've got one.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right.
Because it'd be fine if the other player attacks you. So
Oh, yeah,
if you
if,
attack
I say,
them.
yeah, if you get attacked, but then you're still, it's only that 10%, isn't it? So it's a bit of a risk anyway.
It's
Where
very
they're going
much
to
a
hit
risk.
more than you with that
Yeah.
10%.
However, well, okay, as long as it wouldn't work if you were skulled, because if you were skulled, you could then obviously just let a monster lower you to the point you could just tele away, but you'd be telling you right into guards, so
Yeah.
it would make no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe we should leave them. Let's leave them and see what happens.
Mutilius?
One less thing to do.
Will you get skulled if you trade with a skulled player to prevent keys from being banked safely?
You can't trade the keys, so...
And you can't bank
Oh,
the
I
keys
see
either.
what he's meaning. If you attack a skulled player, kill them, they drop the key, you take the key. So then somebody without a skull gets the key and gets to bank them safely. The issue with that is you attack a skull player, that skull player dies, they lose half their XP, which should hopefully be a big enough reason not to want to do that.
Right.
That's true.
So,
Okay. Drew Bennett, do you lose all XP and items during dying on mini games like Jad?
no, it's only to PKs when you die. You lose your XP and your stuff. PKs or guards if you're skulled, of course.
So your stuff would stay with you?
Your stuff would be how a death works.
Yeah.
Well, we've said already that it will stay on the floor if you die to an NPC.
Mm.
So either on
Yes,
the floor
I
or
mean,
outside.
for
Yeah.
specific instances where there are different death mechanics, then they will still apply, I believe.
Mm.
So very safe, inverted commas, mini games.
Yeah. Is Jad, have we got the fight caves working? Or do we take the XP
I
out
hope
of it?
so. Take the XP.
I think we have to take the
It's
XP
an
out of it.
instance, so
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yes,
it's
you would
fine.
still lose the XP, yeah.
So you don't get the combat XP in it, that's cool.
And that's a lot of your valuable resources
Yeah.
to be wasted if you don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have time for one last question here from Dino, who asks, what if you're attacking a player in a no multi-zone? Will the guard still attack the PKer? Maz says yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guards
Guards
can
don't
attack
need
you, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't need to follow the single rules.
Guards are badasses.
Yeah. We were discussing remodeling them, making them look scarier, but I think, as we were mentioning with the gnome village, for example,
Mm.
they can already look very scary as little gnome guards.
Yeah, when you die, they look scary enough.
Yeah. And the Faldor ones with like an iron longsword, whatever they have.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, we could put them in there, but the whole game is supposed to feel, the whole mode's supposed to feel like RuneScape. You just got badass guards in there, you know, you don't have to look any different. You still want them to feel and look like the same, so keep them as they are.
I'm just thinking about like dressing up as a guard and then causing mayhem. Okay. So we've discovered, actually, if you've watched this stream, probably a few decent strategies right off the bat. We've mentioned that the release date is October 29th. The time we've kind of said like 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is typically our update time.
That's right, yeah.
I'd say around there. Aside from that, that'll conclude this Deadman stream. If you have any future questions, we can bring it up again in future Q&As before the release date. But aside from that, we'll thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.